So a lot to look forward to, as we said. We've seen some splendid results so far tonight. We'll fill you in. Been a couple of field events going on and 2 or 3 track races on with Tamsin Manu, as you know. And Mitch Dyer's with us tonight as well, Tamsin, to bring us the all-important interviews. And we'll get down to Mitch very shortly. So the men's 3,000 metre steeplechase is the first of the track races that we're going to show you live. We've already seen a good 3,000 metre steeplechase tonight from Cara Ryan. More about that in a moment. But Ed Trippus, the obvious one here, Liam Cashin, and Jack Bruce, number 7, makes his debut as a steeplechaser.
Yeah, really fascinating to see how Jack goes. You know, the 30-year-old, he's coming into a new event later in his career, but he is a fabulous 1,500 metre runner, has a 3:37 PB. So let's see what he can do over the steeples in this race. It's just there at the back, you can just see him just settling in nicely.
7.5 laps. Conditions are pretty tough tonight. It's cool in Adelaide, low 20s at the start of the meeting. Headwind in the straight, really strong headwind in the straight, and that's why the sprint races are going to be conducted tonight, the 100 metres and the hurdles down the back straight. We've seen 2 very fast performances, Tamsin, already. Lucas Schmidt and Olivia Hastings, 2 young South Australians, have run spectacular times, albeit wind assisted so far tonight. Oh boy.
It was just a little bit of a trip there. Liam Cashin, number 6 on his hip. He just got caught up from behind and managed to stay on his feet, which is great. It's not a big field, so you wouldn't expect there to be too much argy-bargy. But because of that wind, you can see that they're just taking it a little bit cautiously in terms of the pace. So they're all together running down the back straight, and it's Hinchcliffe taking that steeple and the others following through nicely.
Yes, Schmidt ran 10.44 and Hastings ran 11.40. And earlier tonight, Cara Ryan, a meet record of 9:33.61 in the steeplechase on her own.
Yeah, and so she ran that race completely different to what we're seeing in the early stages of the men's 3,000 metre steeple. She really wanted to go after it. She decided to take the race on and led from a long way out and took the wind and ran so well. And the time suggests that Cara Ryan is going to run some super fast steeplechases later in this season. But a lot of these athletes, because we do have, you know, Ed Trippus, who we know can run super fast, is an Olympic representative from Tokyo. Jack is that little bit of an unknown, and Liam Cashin has been on the podium at Nationals as well. They'll be also trying to get the cobwebs out of their legs from the training block that they would have all done. A few have been at Falls Creek doing some altitude training, and when you have your first race, sometimes you're a little bit nervy, so it looks like nobody really wants to push the pace too early.
So Liam Hinchcliffe's our leader. He's a 21-year-old from New South Wales with a personal best of 9:15, and then Ed Tripper. So he's run 8:19, Ed. That's the 3rd fastest ever. He sits in 2nd place. Tamsin mentioned the fact that he's an Olympian from Tokyo. He had a big injury here at the Nationals in Adelaide last year, didn't he, in April, which really set him back in terms of the Olympics in Paris last year.
Yeah, unfortunately he didn't finish that as Australian Championships, got that injury, but he's a quality athlete. He did qualify for the Olympics in Tokyo in that 11th hour and ran that super fast time. But the athlete who began athletics at the age of 8 and is now 26 years of age. He's coached by Craig Mottram now, and he's just also done a training stint at Falls Creek.
So Hinchcliffe, New South Wales, leads Trippus, New South Wales. Cashin, that's a well-known name in steeplechasing, in 3rd place. So Liam's a 27-year-old from Victoria. He's run 8:30.19. He's in 3rd place at the moment, and you can see the tall figure of Jack Bruce, the Queenslander. He's won 8 medals in national events over the years, but this is his absolute first steeplechase. Interesting stuff. Aidan Velton tucked in, the 19-year-old Victorian, in the light blue strip. Number 4, Riley Konecki there from South Australia, the 22-year-old. He's the South Australian champion at the moment, and that's the lineup with Will Atkinson behind them.
And you mentioned Jack, the tallest athlete in the field. He's fresh off a 3,000 metre personal best that he ran at Zatopek, 7:43. So we know that he's in shape on the flat, but you can just see as he's coming into these steeples, it's one of those events that's quite tricky. You have to get used to the hurdles, and he's doing quite well. That was a great water jump by Jack. He's got the ability with those long legs to really leap off that steeple and hopefully avoid a little bit of the water. But let's watch him as he comes into this steeple. You just want to avoid those dolly steps, those short, sharp, those little fast feet to that hurdle, because that will pay in the back end. But he looks quite fresh, doesn't he, in 3rd position here. You see now Ed Trippus has taken the lead, and he really is starting to open up the field now.
So 4 athletes have sorted themselves out in a field of 7 at the moment. So what sort of work would Jack have been doing? He's never actually competed in a race like this. I mean, can you simulate the water jump? Would you be? How much do you think training you'd be doing as a specialist steeplechaser?
Well, I do like that he's trying this event because he obviously wants to represent Australia, and sometimes you have to think outside the square. If it hasn't worked before in terms of the events that you've been doing, but whatever training he's been doing, it's going well because he has run that 3,000 personal best. He ran a sub 4-minute mile in New Zealand in January, so he's clearly in shape. He looks confident out there too.
So one of the big attractions tonight is Vanessa Lowe. She's on the runway in the women's long jump. This is a 3-time Paralympian gold medalist and a world record holder and gold medalist from Paris last year. She's a mum. She's an absolute legend, and she's starting her season this year here in Adelaide, and she's on the runway now. So we'll get that distance for you. So support those athletes. Taryn Golszewski, by the way, won the women's discus tonight with 54.99 over Zaveline Bill, who had a personal best of 52.31, and young Jess Johnston with 51.34. That's the result from the women's discus tonight. Taryn got herself into a bit of trouble early. She had a couple of fouls and then scrambled her way back to a win, didn't she?
Sometimes that experience does come to play. We were a bit nervous, but she probably was okay. She knew that she could get one out there, so she walks away with the win. Ed Trippus is looking great out there. You know, the athlete who learnt his wares a little bit in the US college system, got an economics degree and did very well, as we mentioned, going to the Olympics in Tokyo. Unfortunately, had that injury last year. He did look good in the early stages of the season as well. So he'll have something to prove here. He'll be wanting to get out and show that he's not gone, he's back, and he looks quite good and comfortable out there in the front. He's the one pushing the pace. He wants to make sure that the tempo here gets something out of it. It is still early in the season, but he is really working hard. Liam Cashin's still right on the shoulder of Ed Trippus, and you mentioned his family is a family of steeplechasers, aren't they? His sister Amy went to the Olympics, and both of them podium places at national level, so both great steeplechasers for Australia.
And we haven't had any fast steeplechasing running so far in 2025 in Australia. 9:24 is the fastest we've had, so this will be the fastest time, or the 2 fastest times we've seen so far this year. So Cashin going well here, but he's got the advantage of sitting on the back of Ed. Ed's obviously got a little deeper CV. He's the favourite in the race, but Liam's having a really good run. They're both experienced athletes, 26 and 27. Now, this is a key, how they come out of the water jump. You talked about that earlier tonight.
Yep.
And right there, I would have thought that was a 50-50 split.
Yeah, and you can see if you're looking at the faces, they both look, you can see Ed Trippus still looks pretty relaxed, but his stride length is a little bit shorter now because he's done a lot of the work, so it looks like he is tiring up. Cashin has the pain etched across his face, which is fair enough when you're at the end of a 3,000 metre steeplechase race, but he's still holding on, and it looks like a race in 2, and you can see Jack Bruce is just coming through for his last lap, and he'll get a lot out of this race. He's actually hurdled really well. He's run into the steeples and run off the steeples quite well. He's just got to get used to doing it in the race, and he'll be better for this run.
So the time, I reckon it'll be around about 8:50, 8:55. So these are hard conditions, which go back to Cara. That shows you what a quality run that was earlier. So the bell coming up for those other athletes. So this is the last 250 metres we're seeing. And Trippus now getting away a little, but Cashin is not to be denied here. This could be a very big finish. It's a headwind in the straight, and Cashin believes he can still win. So Trippus comes out of the water jump, and Cashin gets right up within about 1.5 metres. Now Trippus gets away at the top of the straight.
Yeah, he held his form beautifully, Trippus, when he would have felt Cashin onto his shoulder, but look at him running off that steeple. Great run.
And this will be clearly the fastest time we've seen in Australia in this short space of this season. So just inside 8:50, it's a good run and a good performance by Liam. And I reckon Jack Bruce is going to be really happy. Come on, Jack, get inside 9 minutes in your first run. And I think he has. I think it's at 8:59. Good effort there by Aidan Velton. Now, Aidan Velton, I think, has run a personal best in 4th place, the young fella there, the 19-year-old Victorian. Sure, in that light blue, that he's just run a personal best time in these conditions.
Yeah, and especially with the way that race started out. They certainly didn't go for it in the first couple of laps. They sort of bided their time, and then they picked it up through the middle stages of the race. So It's the first race done and dusted for the season, but Ed Trippus, he certainly looked very happy to get across the line then after his last race on this track didn't go to plan.
Riley Konecki and then Liam Hinchcliffe just getting over the line, and Will Atkinson will come through as well. So those results unofficially, as we see the last little bit, 8:49.56 Trippus, 8:51.55 Cashin, 8:59.25, obviously a personal best for Bruce, and Velton gets a PB of 9:01.71.
Yeah, they should all be very happy with that race. I tell you what I did like about Trippus's run there off that last steeple. He was strong through the core. He looks like he's done a lot of work in that off-season, and he wants to get back in the green and gold.
So we just saw Maya Taguchi there of Japan. So women's long jump at the moment, Amelia Search is leading with 6.23. Now these are with tailwinds behind them. Delta Amazovsky with 6.21. She's the world junior champion, and here is Delta. So this young lady went to the World Juniors in Lima last year and won the gold medal in this event and won the bronze medal of the 100 hurdles. So let's have a look at the results from the men's steeple, as Delta's not too far away. So Trippus with that 8:49. So 8:49.56, Cashin with 8:51.55, and Bruce with 8:59.25. PB there for Aidan Velton, and you can see seasonal best all the way through because it's so early in the season, but good running, really good running, and Jack Bruce is going to think, okay, I can do this. This is an event I can improve on. Ed's in good nick, and Liam's run really well. Conditions tonight are really, really tough. Delta, by the way, 6.21, will get her distance in just a minute. So she's still very much the youngster. Let's go down and join Mitch, who's got Ed Trippus. Mitch, after his win.
I do. I'm down here with a very happy Ed Trippus. Ed, mate, congratulations. The fastest 3K we've seen in Australia this year, and a big sigh of relief for you over the line.
Yeah, definitely. Tonight it was all about just getting through. Last time I was here was Nationals. I had a really bad injury on the water jump, so tonight was just like mentally like, all right, I can do this. I can run the steeple again. Haven't done a ton of hurdle practice, so like just happy to get back in the event that I enjoy and love, and so nice to be out here competing.
You had a little bit of pressure late. Liam Cashin over that water jump, he was really strong to maintain like that. What are the sort of things that you're telling yourself to be able to finish off a 3K like that?
Yeah, it was nice to have him there, push me all the way. It was a bit like super windy tonight, so a bit slower than probably usual, so I was happy just to run off feel, and yeah, to have him there pushing was good, like really good race practice. So it was all about technique over the hurdles in kind of the final lap, feeling him there, just making sure I execute each hurdle. It gets harder and harder as you get lactic, and so it's just about getting over.
Ed, that was absolutely brilliant. Where are we going to see you next?
Great question. Probably Sydney Track Classic 3K Australian Champs.
Love that. Ed, congratulations. Let you go talk to all the kids. Ed Trippus, winner of the 3K steeple.
Good stuff, Mitch. So that Sydney Track Classic is the third of the Chemist Warehouse Summer Series events. We go to Perth in a fortnight's time, and then a couple of weeks after that, in the middle of March, on the 15th of March, it'll be Sydney, and then the Morrie Plant Meet. So that's where we'll see Ed next. So the 100 metres, we've seen two very fast races tonight in the 100 metres. These are the highest ranked runners, men, and to be followed by women. So they've had big wins behind them. You would love a 1.5 or something, wouldn't you, here, Tamsin? Because we've got such depth here in both men's and women's 100 metres, and Lachlan Kennedy is a big watch here, isn't he? In lane, we're in lane number 4.
Yeah, fabulous junior, and he's certainly stepping into the senior ranks and making the other senior athletes take notice, because his 60 metre has been very impressive so far this season. He's run a 100 metre personal best of 10.17, and looks like he, if with a bit of a tailwind, I'm thinking could run very, very fast tonight.
So from the right, Craig Concesso on the inside lane in 2. Par Wizzle of Papua New Guinea in lane number 3. Lachlan Kennedy in lane 4. He broke the Australian record in the 60, as Tamsin was alluding to a moment ago. Jacob Despard, an Olympian, in lane number 5. Part of that 4x1 along with Lockie Kennedy. Caleb Law, part of that 4x1 in lane 6 in good form. Christopher Ayus, who's doing good things both in the relays and in flat races. And then Chin Sun Lin of Taipei, who's the Asian Youth Champion, got a medal there, I should say, the Asian Youth Olympics, and Jagger Pybus, the Tasmanian champion from last year. Kennedy, Despard, Law would be the favourites here?
Definitely the favourites. And Despard, you know, he had a great year last year. He ran in that relay at the Olympic Games that ran that national record. What a fantastic run by those four. Caleb as well was in that team. And Lachlan Kennedy, the great junior who was in such a solid era of such fabulously talented juniors that are coming through to this senior ranks. And he's stepping out of the shadows and starting to make his own impression on Australian domestic sprinting scene. So
the start's all important. Lockie led off in that Olympic relay and got Australia off to a flying start as we go back to the women's long jump here.
It's Clark.
So Tamisha Clark, she's done 5:98, so that's her third attempt. So currently she's in 5th place. Amelia Search, I should say, leads with 6.23 from Delta Amazovsky on 6.21. Back to the 100 here. So Kennedy's a fast starter, isn't he?
He is. You know, there's a couple of athletes in this field that didn't start as track and field athletes. You know, Jacob Despard was a cricketer as a junior fast bowler, but the thrill of running fast took over. And Lachlan Kennedy's another athlete who didn't start as a track and field athlete. He was rugby union, even represented Australia before making the switch to athletics.
Caleb Law we see there, and the bright singlet. What a find he is. What a great athlete he is. He was third 3 years ago now, or 2.5 years ago in Carly at the World Junior 200 metres.
And he has that wonderful ability naturally to relax whilst under pressure of a men's sprinting race, which is super hard to do. It sounds like it'd be easy, but under the pressure of men's sprinting, a lot of athletes, they tense up. But Caleb just has that wonderful ability to relax. And when he's running at his best, the turnover, his 200 metres is just something special.
And of course, we've all know what's been happening in Australian sprinting in the last year or so, in the last months, with Gout's incredible breakthrough in November and December, and Seb Sultana, of course, to come back. Rowan Browning, I know, is training well and can't wait to get back as well. So we've got a lot to look forward to in the men's 100s and 200s. So Kennedy 3 from the right. Next to him, Despard, and next to Despard is Law. He's 4 from the left. We're about to go. Away. Kennedy got a good start. He's just got to lead Vissel early. Law's behind them, and then Ayus. Kennedy clearly in front. He's going to have a win over Despard, and Law third, and not far away Ayus. But Lockie set it up early, got the break, and was able to hang on for a clear-cut win.
I'm laughing because it almost looked like he has been purely training for 60 metres, Lachlan Kennedy, because that World Indoors is coming. But I mean, honestly, that was so fast, and he got a little bit wooden in the last 10 metres. But that was fast.
So it's a 10.09 unofficial. It's 10.10, everybody. So that is so quick, but it's a big tailwind of 5.3. Jacob Despard's come through for 10.14 and Caleb Law 10.24. So really fast running here.
Yeah.
And if you didn't look at the little W tonight, you'd be thinking, boy, oh boy. But I think we can still say, boy, oh boy.
Yeah, no, I think Lachlan Kennedy his start, and from about 10 metres to 30 metres, he really ran away from that field. He got to the 70 metre mark and he just got a little bit fatigued. Sounds ridiculous in 100 metres, but if he has been training purely for that 60 metres for the World Indoors, you know, that last 40 metres of the 100 hasn't been his concentration at the moment. He got a little bit tired, and when he got a little bit tense and wooden in that last 20 metres, that's when you saw Jacob Despard, the 28-year-old, come back over the top. But he just didn't quite get him, and Lachlan Kennedy, gosh, isn't he a great starter? What a weapon to have in a 4x100.
Incredible. So it is a meet record. It's 10.10. So it was 10.12 was the previous meet record. We don't have to worry about the W really for that, because that's the fastest we've seen here. I thought Despard was so good late, didn't you?
Yep.
And Ayus and Law had a real battle, as you can see, for third and fourth. So some terrific sprinting. Women's 100 metres not that far away, and the field events are starting to bubble as well. So some fast sprinting so far tonight. Now it's time for the women's 100 metres. Jade Johnston in lane 1, Olivia Inkster in 2. So Johnston, 23 years of age from New South Wales. Inkster, 20 years of age and a veteran of 2 World Junior Championships already from New South Wales. And then Thuy Philp there of Queensland, the 16-year-old. There's Olivia Inkster. Philp, outstanding junior, the All Schools Under-17 champion.
Yeah, standing at 5'2", 16 years of age, raised on the Gold Coast. Her dad's Indigenous and her mum's Filipino, and has so many great credentials to her name already at the age of 16. But she was inspired by the Commonwealth Games in 2018, and it's great to see her here in the A 100 metres.
So a couple of our relay runners from the Olympics, Brie Rizzo, Brie Masters, now Brie Rizzo. So we'll get used to that.
Yeah, for sure. But she married Matt Rizzo, who was a stall gift winner, so it's going to come there. We'll get used to it.
Absolutely. Christy Edwards. And then we've got these youngsters, Amaya Means and Thuy Philp we talked about, Olivia Inkster. Kayla Lem's been in 5 Bay Sheffield finals here in South Australia. Georgia Hull's, of course, such a well-known New Zealander, the promising Georgia Harris. So I think Brie starts favourite, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think what she did at the Olympic Games in that making the semi-finals, she was 3rd in her heat with that 11.26 and 6th in the semi-final. I think she has earned the credentials to start this race as favourite. She's such a big meet performer too, like under pressure and at those big time performance meets, she just lifts her game. Absolutely.
She ran 2 great races at the Olympics. She ran an equal personal best in New Zealand last week of 11.23. We saw her at the Bay Sheffield here in Adelaide in December, almost went off scratch. So a star, Christy Edwards alongside of her, so good as well. And then the youngsters surrounding them. So Masters right in the middle, or Rizzo right in the middle of the pink. We'll get used to it, won't we? We're about to go. Away, and Brie got a good start. Christy probably just beat her out. Philp going very well, 3 from the right. So Edwards and Rizzo. Rizzo coming away now, and Brie's going to get the win. In 2nd placing will be Edwards, and it's tight for 3rd. It might be Harris just over Philp, I reckon, in 3rd placing. And the time is around about 11.3. So let's see what the wind did there. So that feels like it might be a legitimate back win. So Brie there established her superiority at halfway and then was able to have a pretty comfortable win. And yes, so that is legal at 11.30 rounded off.
Well, Brie Rizzo will be really happy to get that one underway. She just didn't quite get the start. You know, Edwards had a fantastic start, and it almost looked like Edwards was shading Brie to the halfway mark. But the last 50 metres, Rizzo started to use that strength in her legs and get that good knee lift off the ground that we recognise with Rizzo as she's pointing to her new name. Yes, married Matt, of course, at the end of last year in November. And, you know, in her heat at the Olympics, Bruce, she ran against Sha'Carri Richardson. So she's really gaining some experience in the sprints. She came into sprinting a little bit later. She was a dancer at first, then went to beach sprinting. But really now her focus is the track, and that was a great run for early in the season.
So some good running behind her as well, but 11.30 is a very good time. Her personal best is 11.23, so it's not far off that. Admittedly, the wind was really good. Mitch, let's go down to you. You're with Lockie, who put up such a show in the 100.
Yeah, no, I knew once they flipped the track it was going to be a bit of a hectic tailwind, but 5.3 is nuts. And yeah, for that last 20, you really felt it. I literally stacked it over the line. But I mean, got out, got the good 60 out of the blocks, felt pretty cruisy, nearly fell over at the end, but got the job done at the end of the day.
How did it feel to roll the extra 40? Because, mate, you're the current world leader for the 60 metres. How did it feel to get the burn over the back end?
I mean, yeah, the first 60 definitely feels better than the last 40. But I mean, like, yeah, obviously that's the thing I've got to work on the most. It felt all right today. Obviously, I started stacking it. But I mean, like, it's definitely there. I know I can, if I nail that last 40, I know I can do some real epic things in the 100. So, yeah, it's just about getting that right. And it felt decent today.
You've been electric since you ran in Townsville pre-Paris, then you get to the games, and you come out this year, you're smashing records, you're doing incredible things. The training, anything changed, or you've just found a volume of consistency now?
Well, after I did the injury, which made me have to go to Townsville, I knew I wasn't invincible, so it was just all about being like more diligent when it comes to recovery, warm-up. Both me and Caleb, we have a good training environment with Coach Andrew and everyone, so we all push each other. We've got a bunch of fast blokes, and I mean, the training environment's half the reason I reckon we're all running so good. So, yeah, it's more about being diligent with all the little things.
Absolutely. Mate, we'll see you in China next month. Congratulations. Lockie Kennedy, the winner of the 100.
Thank you.
Well done, mate.
Good stuff, Mick. So Andrew Island, the coach of Lockie, of course Tori Lewis was with Andrew, now gone up into Holland doing good things. What a personality, eh?
I just love that, and I loved how he said once he's worked on his last 40 metres in that 100 that he nearly stacked it at the end. He mentioned he's going to do real epic things. We're getting into the lingo of the youngsters these days, Bruce, but I like it. Great personality, and wow, that first 60 metres is so impressive. And Mitch talked about going to the World Indoors. If he just goes there and gets that experience, but, you know, being at the top of that leaderboard is very impressive. And that 60 metres, that first 60 then, was certainly something to talk about. It was great.
So that fresh face we're looking at right now, we're going to get used to it, aren't we? And with that devil-may-care attitude, that no fear, Tamsin. I reckon it started in Tokyo at the Olympics 3-4 years ago. That no fear. Okay, and then we've seen those results in Budapest, particularly Paris even more so, and at the World Juniors. And what we've seen at the start of this year has been remarkable. And Australian athletics, which is now known as Australian athletics, that rebrand, that complete inclusivity of all Australians that put on a pair of shoes and go for a run and can connect with the elite group that we're watching tonight. I think it was a very, very good move from Australian athletics, and one that I think will be embraced.
Well, athletics in Australia, a lot of people are talking about how exciting it is. We're certainly in a purple patch. The athletes are doing such a great job of promoting the sport. And I think, you know, anyone who says that Australians aren't known for sprinting prowess, I think we're going to change that this year.
So the men's 5,000 not too far away. Field events still going on. Back from the Adelaide International, part of the Chemist Warehouse Summer Series after this. Timing men's 5,000 about to start. Windy conditions we've talked about tonight. Tailwind down the back, headwind in the straight. And these dozen athletes, plus the 2 pacemakers on the outside, are starting halfway round with 12 laps to go when they get to the finishing line. So a good group of athletes here, as you'd expect, an even bunch. So Asher Gillings and Jonathan Harris are the 2 pacemakers tonight, both from South Australia. 22-year-old Asher showing out from 19-year-old Jonathan. And they're going to probably set up a pace of around about between 13:20 and 13:30.
And you can see Sam Clifford in the 3rd position there with the number 3 on his shorts. He's looking like he wants to have another good race. He started his season off this year, the 24-25 season, so well. He was a really talented junior, always known for his bravery, just unfortunately had a few injuries through those junior years, and at the Zatopek last year in December had a fantastic breakthrough race to get that silver and a personal best of 28-29 minutes, and at the back end of last year also won the Burnie 10. So he looks like he's full of confidence and wanting to push this tempo, and he'll want this fast early because I think the 10,000 metre distance suits him a little bit more. He's surging, and you can see, some of these races are a little bit like training for some of them this early in the season. So a little bit of surging nature probably won't take too much sting out of Clifford's legs, but if he can manage to do it to the field, it might take some of the sting out of the fast athletes.
So sunglasses, the man that Tams is talking about. I'm glad I'm not at Flemington trying to call this race right now, because those jockeys look like they've got very similar silks on, don't they? Those first half a dozen. But that's okay, because they've got numbers on the side, so we're all sweet, aren't we, Tams? Yeah. So let's see what the time is here. So it's about 1:40. So that's at about 13:40 pace, 13:42, something around that. So not quite what they expected. It's hard tonight. The back straight is your friend.
Yeah.
The front straight is your enemy. It's quite as simple as that. So Asher Gillings and Jonathan Harris are the 2 front runners, but they're pacemakers, tucked in behind Sam Clifford, and Oliver Jignell there as well, and also Josh Phillips. So that's the group at the moment. Callum Davies is one of the favourites here, so he's towards the back, and he's a quality athlete. He's won a 1,500 and a 5,000 metres at the National Championships. Smooth mover, young Ash, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Davies is sitting about 4th from the rear at the moment. You can just see him there in the Queensland top to the left of the screen. But Chignell, the 26-year-old, actually he's 27 tomorrow, Chignell, so he'll be wanting a good birthday present from this race. He has a fabulous personal best over 10,000 of sub-28 minute runner, and 13:27 5,000 metre personal best. So he's probably the athlete in 4th is the one to watch in terms of if you're going to put a favourite tag on this field.
So 10 laps to go here. Let's go down to you, Mitch, with Brie Rizzo after her terrific win in the 100 metres.
Brilliant. I'm here with Brie. Sorry, we were just chopping it up here. Brie Rizzo, I should say, Mrs. Rizzo. How'd you find it there? You girls got a legal win this time. Pretty happy with that?
Yeah, pretty happy with that. I think it was 11:30 from what you told me.
Yep.
I felt pretty flat today after yesterday's clearly not here, last week's equal PB, 11:23 in New Zealand. So I knew that my central nervous system would be a little bit fried from running quite fast last week, but I'm really happy to back it up with that.
I want to step off the track here for a moment. You're a businesswoman, you're launching all this cool stuff with LSKD. We can see here Olympics last year, wedding. How are you finding the time to be this fit to start a new year?
I have no idea. I'm really just pushing my limits at the moment, but most of all just enjoying the process again. You know, last year was really stressful. To make an Olympics is a stressful process, and it was very, very rewarding in the end. But I think this season I just really want to have fun, enjoy it and run fast.
You get this first domestic race out of the way. Are you planning on running most of them? What does the training or the racing schedule look like for you now?
Yeah, so we will have a weekend off next weekend, thank God. And then we'll go to Perth. And then there's Sydney Track Classic. And then hopefully Maury Plant Nationals. And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, so light training. Okay, I like it. Light racing program. Hey, congratulations, Brie, Mrs. Rizzo. Really good start to 2025. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Brilliant.
Well done to both of you. It was Matt, her husband, a Stall gift winner, a fine athlete in his own right. He's in the fire brigade, I think, up in Queensland, and that's why he's taking some time off a bit from running.
He literally just got inducted into the fireman brigade. What do you call that? The fire brigade?
I think so.
Yeah, the fire brigade. And Brie went along to cheer Matt on. So what a busy year she had last year at the Olympic Games and planning a wedding and getting married. So 2025, well, you don't want it to be a downer from 2024, no. But her athletics of this season has certainly made sure she's kept it up.
Well, she started well, 11:23 last weekend in New Zealand to equal her personal best, and tonight not that far outside. So Ash Gillings has done his job. We're around about that 14-minute pace at the moment. Jonathan Harris leads at the moment, but our absolute leader is number 3, Sam Clifford, from Oliver Chignell, the New Zealander, who was third at the Zatopek. Sam was second at the Zatopek in December late last year. They're two of the favourites here.
They are, and they all look pretty smooth. It's stringing out a little bit now. You sort of can just tell that once the pace has dropped out, they're still keeping that tempo up, which is exactly what Sam will want. Clifford, who's sitting just behind the pace there of Harris, he will want this tempo to stay on, because as a 10,000 metre runner, he's going to want to take some of the speed out of some of the athletes, like Callum Davies, who has a fast 1,500 metre time. Hansen has a fast 1,500 metre time. You can see in the all-white there, Josh Phillips is looking really good. He went to the University of Villanova, the 25-year-old, and he struggled at Nationals last year, but he will be out to prove a point and to show that he's one not to be messed with either. He looks so relaxed. See his face as he's running around here in the white. He looks like he's running really well, and that's what you want to do in the early stages of a 5,000 metre. You don't want to waste any energy. You want to make sure that you're covering all the moves, but also making sure that you're staying nice and relaxed, so that you leave something in that little kitty bag at the end that you can use to kick home with.
So down that back straight, let's look at 3 as the leader, Clifford. Then 6, Chignell of New Zealand. Then 5, Phillips. Tanson's been talking about Phillips. And then tucked in behind Goddard of South Australia. Isaac Haynes in that group with James Hansen just up in front of Isaac Haynes. And then Jacob Cox, another so well-known name, of course, Jacob and Riley. Izzy Bat-Doyle, of course, Riley's partner, who broke the Australian half marathon record in Murakami in Japan and is setting herself for the Nagoya Marathon coming up. Callum Davies is 3 from the back at the moment. Behind Callum is Adrian Potter. Tucked behind them also there is Matt Clark. So that's the group, Matty Clark, 4 from the back. We've got 6 laps to go. So we're at halfway, basically, just over halfway in the men's 5,000 metres.
Matty Clark that you mentioned, who's 4 from the back here with the yellow sunglasses on, the steeplechaser, and he's also been a guide for Jared Clifford in the Paralympics. He went to the Olympics last year, and Paris Olympics was pretty hard to watch if you're a Matty Clark fan. He was so sick, but he was so brave. He battled that virus in the lead up and got through the race, and you could tell that the pain was etched on his face, but it was an amazing effort for him to even get out on the track there in Paris. And he'd had such a good lead up. He had that personal best in Bilbao in Spain in June leading into Paris of 8:20.06 over the steeple. So quality athlete, no steeples here, but looking nice and relaxed out there at the moment.
Field events tonight, Matt Denning's not far away, and the Discus is going to be an absolute highlight. Dalton DiMedio, by the way, won the men's pole vault with 5:25. He attempted a personal best of 5:36. It was DiMedio 5:25, Myers Great Britain 5:15, Steen New Zealand 5:15. That's the men's pole vault. Women's long jump continuing at the moment. We'll keep you up to date with that. Women's pole vault just commencing. Georgia Taylor over at 370, Olivia Gross over at 370, and again we'll keep you informed there.
And
Pace
Harris?
done by John. Well done, Jono. So back to the leaders. Clifford was somebody you pointed out very early tonight. He leads Chignell. And then Phillips here, 1, 2, 3. Hansen's in 4th place. Isaac Haynes, City to Surf winner last year, such a well-known South Australian. He's got the buzz cut. Now he moves up into 4th placing. He's a good-looking rooster. He can wear his hair however he likes, Tamsin.
Isaac Haynes wearing the number 1 on his hip. He's moved into 4th position. You can tell that there's a few athletes in this field that aren't afraid to push the pace. One of them is Clifford. Hansen also. James Hansen, he's not afraid to lead either. But Chignell's look how relaxed he looks. He doesn't even look like he's breaking a sweat there. Isaac Haynes, who you mentioned, he's on his home track. He's a local lad, 25 years of age now, but had a great junior career. There he is, wearing the number 1 on his hip, and he's got a 13:30 personal best from 2022. And he's ran a 3,000 metres on the 25th of January here for a second in 8:05.
So let's go back to the long jump here. This is Liz Heading, who's had a really fine start to the season. She's currently in fourth place here. So at the moment, it's Amelia Search, Delta Amizovsky, and Elisa Lowe. 1, 2, 3. 6:23, 6:21, and 6:12. So at modest distances, they're okay. They're not bad. They'd be looking for something extra in those final 1 or 2 jumps. So Clifford, Chignall, Hayne, and Phillips. So what have we got here, Tamsin? What do you like at arithmetic? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 7 in the group with a couple slightly off the back, aren't they?
They are. Clifford looking to the left again just to see if somebody else will take that lead. We have mentioned how windy it is out there. I think the athletes, because it is such a bunch pack and there's quality in this field. So the first thing that you want to do as an athlete as you're starting off the season in early stages of a season, you want to get the win. And so you want to make sure that to get the win, you run the best way that you possibly can. And if it is windy, you possibly don't want to be leading the whole way. They've had great help from the pacers, Harris and Gillings, early in the race. But now this is the point, the middle phase, where you want to keep the tempo up, but also make sure that you leave something for your final kick as well. But
so Tamsin, we can just see there in the back straight. So Davies 2 from the back. So Goddard's dropped off the back, and Callum Davies, who we know has had a bit of an injury over the summer season, such a quality athlete, an Australian champion in this event. So he's sort of been dropped, I reckon, just about now. We've got 2.5 laps to go. Yep. Goddard's gone, so we're probably down to 7, aren't we?
Yeah, and you can just tell that Sam, who was such a brave junior, we've spoken about how he's a gutsy runner, and he's come into this race full of confidence against the senior athletes. I think it's the first time that Sam Clifford would know that he has the ability to win this race. And so he's going wide again. He's made it sort of a cat and mouse race a little bit. He's bled it, he's moved back, he's watching them. But Chignall, the New Zealand athlete who has that super fast 10,000 metre personal best, he's the athlete who's just sort of biding his time and holding that inside railing. So
long jump continuing here. So 6:26, Delta's gone to the lead here, and that's...
that was Search.
Yep, so Search trying to respond. So Delta leads here. Hamazovsky, the world junior champion, with 6:26. We'll get Amelia Search in a moment as we're getting towards the pointy end of the men's 5,000 metres. We're down now probably to 6. I think Jacob Cox just off the back now. His personal best at 14:02, so he's right on that at the moment. So a half a dozen here. A couple of South Australians in the mix. Matt Clark and also Isaac Hayne. So it's Phillips, Chignall, Clifford, Hanson, Hayne and also Clark, the 2 South Aussies trying to hang on here where they get the bell. There's 500 metres to run.
This is a fantastic race, and Phillips is looking wonderful in the all-white there. He's really nice off the ground. What you're looking for at this back end of the race is who's looking the freshest, who's ready to pounce and who's got running in their legs. And Phillips has got good bounce off the track at the moment, but a lot of them look fresh. This is a fantastic race, Bruce. It
really is. So they went through in about 12:45. So they're going to run high 13s, I'd say, around about 13:50, 13:55. They should be able to kick it back pretty well. So the tailwind down the back. So Clark and Hayne both off the back. Clark is resigned now. He can't win. Hayne's trying to get back on. But Chignall made the first run. Phillips, who you've had your eye on along with Clifford, tried to respond. And Hanson's there as well. So Clifford now's off the back. So the top 3 as they come off the back. Chignall leading. Hanson almost up to him. And then Phillips. And Clifford maybe still with half a hope. They've got 120 metres to go. Hanson's gone straight past Chignall. And then Phillips. And now Clifford comes to the outside. 50 metres to go. Clifford closing in on Hanson, but Hanson's 2-3 metres in front, and it's a Tasmanian 30-year-old that's going to get home and win, and they've kicked it home hard. So it's Hanson winning over Clifford and Phillips. They're 1, 2 and 3 after the men's 5,000 metres.
Oh, what a wonderful race to watch, and that's a great win for James Hanson. He has been there or thereabouts for a decade in middle distance and distance racing, and that was just a wonderful, wonderful race. He sat back and he watched what the others were doing. He let it all unfold in front of him, and he just didn't get to the front till that last 200 metres where he just pounced, and he was relaxed and he looked like he had a little bit more to give even. That was a great race. To have 6 athletes there with a bell to go, that was fantastic running by James Hanson. And 1,500 PB of 3:37, stepping up to that 5,000 metres, he definitely is an athlete to watch.
Yeah, great racing. It really was as they continue coming now. Canala coming in. So We'll get here's the sprint for home. So Hanson made the move, didn't he? He had the courage, I guess, and the confidence to go, and Clifford tried to run him down. We'll give you the official time shortly, but they're around about the 13:40 mark and a little bit over. A really excellent race. 13:40.59, we reckon, around about that, Mitch. Around about that 13:40, as you've got James with you after that spectacular run. It's all yours, Mitch.
Well, I'm just waiting for Jimmy to catch his breath here for a moment because, mate, that last 200 was absolutely blistering. Walk me through it. To come away with the win there is massive.
I felt great, Mitchy. I just kept getting through the laps. I usually hate a 5K. It's so long, I never wanted to switch to it, but all distance runners end up going longer. And I just felt good today. I think the pace was a little bit off. It was enough to keep me comfortable, and I'm always the guy that gets run over the top of. So I was just save it as long as possible, see how you go, and it felt phenomenal to actually get through the line today and be the winner. It's been a long time since I've won something.
I was going to say, sometimes it feels like you're always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That drive, past Jimmy, what do you... You guys are keen over here. Would a past version of Jimmy have waited that long? Have you learnt this sense of maturity now over this distance to hold back and put yourself in that position to win?
Yeah, definitely. I know the limitations of my body now. I know I've got to leave at last minute because I'm a musclier guy. I seem to tie up a bit more. So, obviously it's early season and stuff. I haven't been super confident in myself, to be honest. I came over here, I didn't know if I'd finish midfield. But, all glory to God. He's got me through some hard times, and it's just amazing to be here winning a race as the old guy.
Oh, mate, don't worry about midfield. You're right at the front of it. Hey, 1-2 punch for the Apple Island. The Tassie boys on the map. How good to have Cliffo there.
Cliffo's absolutely flying at the moment. We've been running in Tassie. I've been trailing out the back of him by a long way. So, I didn't expect to beat him today, but all props to him, the way he's turned things around. He's an absolute legend, and I'm excited for what's to come for him as well.
Jimbo, really proud of you. Jimmy Hanson here, the women of the men's 5K. Well done, Jimmy.
Thanks, fella.
Good stuff there. So that performance by Jimmy Hanson. So back to the women's long jump. Now, fascinating here that two of our competitors, Amelia Search and also Delta Amazovsky, who are currently in second and first place, have got a race around, and here they go. So just in front of us at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, are Delta and Amelia. They're walking around the track to join the start for the women's 100-metre hurdles, because that's about to happen in a short time. Here's the results. So personal best for Clifford, personal best also for Jacob Cox and Adam Goddard, but it was Hanson, Clifford and Phillips.
Do you know what was wonderful then? You could see Isaac Hayne just cheering for James Hanson. You could hear in James's voice then the emotion of how much this means. He's stuck with the sport and he's worked through some hard times, and he's a very popular, likeable lad, and so that was a wonderful win by him. And yeah, the Tasmanians, they are going very, very well.
So all the way down there to Daniel Canala. So Asher Gillings and Jonathan Harrison did their bit. We've had a pretty fast race with a big kick down. So that's the men's 5,000 metres. The men's discus is about to start, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're in the grandstand here and you look to the left corner of the field, the eastern side of the field, as we go back to the long jump. Here's Elisa Lowe, who's currently in third place now. Delta Amazovsky at 6:26 leads Amelia Search at 6:23. They're making their way around to the back straight as we speak to run in the hurdles, believe it or not. And Alyssa Lowe here, the third at the moment with 6.12 metres. So here's our bronze medal position in the women's long jump. Alyssa's about to go now. Can she peg back Amelia and Delta? Final attempt. Not to be. So Alyssa's going to have to be happy with a third place tonight. So terrific performance by her with 6.12 metres. So those results will be official shortly. So Matt Denny, as I was saying to you, on the eastern side of the track in the discus cage, this is going to be an enormous part of tonight. To see Izzy Batdor walking past to brother-in-law, I guess we could say. Jacob Cox has just run a personal best, and superb performance by her in Japan. So Matt Denny, can't wait to see him in the discus.
No, this is going to be absolutely special, isn't it? He looked good in his warm-up, so I think we're in for something very, very special from Matty tonight. And he's such a consistent performer, and I think that's been the main difference in him in the last year or so, and that's what got him onto the podium at the Olympics. That consistency that he has shown over the last, Olympic cycle has been nothing short of super impressive.
So the young star Ethan Ayodele's 52.14 to start. Daniel Di Giandomenico at 50.60. Darcy Miller's next up, the South Australian. He's been training in Europe last year as we go back to the women's para long jump here. So this is Sarah Walsh, 4.88 metres she's done so far tonight. Sarah with a fantastic CV. Of course, we've talked about Vanessa Lowe tonight. She's a 3-time Olympian, Sarah, just 24 years of age, Paralympian I should say. And the personal best came in 2021 at 5.53. So here's Sarah on the runway in women's long jump. So Sarah and Vanessa together tonight. She's just waiting for everything to be right. The runway's about to be cleared.
It's tricky with the wind at the moment. We talk about how good it is having it behind our sprinters to get them some fast times to start the season off. But for jumpers, it makes it a little bit tricky to get that run up exactly right when it's a little bit gusty.
So just checking with the officials to make sure that it is all okay.
Trains with Matt Beckenham at the ACT.
And there with Vanessa behind her. So I've got some real royalty there. Vanessa 5.23 tonight. So that's a really fine start to her season. Vanessa at 5.45. That was her world record at the Paralympics last year in Paris. So she's 5.23 tonight, albeit slightly windy. And have a look at the camaraderie between the two, eh?
Having a great time out there, which is what you want to see. Obviously, got two members of the long jump have gone across, as you've spoken about, Bruce, to that 100 hurdles that's about to get underway. Amelia and Delta will have wanted to get a practice hurdle over that first one.
So here's the lineup. Managi, well-known name in Papua New Guinea. Hannah Jones, coached by Sally Pearson in 3. The two Japanese, Kayama and Shibata, both quality athletes. Very good indoor athlete, Kayama. And Mazovsky has just won the long jump. Bronze medal of this event at the World Juniors. Boyang Zhang, the national champion of Taipei on 4 occasions. Emily Britton in really good form so far this season. And Amelia Search, who just finished second in the long jump.
Well, Amelia's a heptathlete, so she'll be okay with doing multiple events in the one evening. Hannah Jones has had her injury battles, but has a personal best of sub 13 seconds from 2021. She's represented Australia at those World Championships in 2023.
So here's Matt Denny in the discus. Let's see what Matt can do first up. It's going. That is a really good first throw from Matt. We can see the 65-metre mark there. So anything in the mid-60s is world class. His personal best is oh so close to the 70-metre mark. He did that late last year. In fact, he was at 69 and some in Paris, and he's 67.82. We've just seen a meet record by Matt Denny, 67.82 for his first throw. Maybe we could see a 70-metre throw for the first time by an Australian here tonight. Back to the hurdles. Jones 2 from the right. And Mazovsky in 6. Search in 9. Away, Delta got a pretty good start. Away really quickly, Bo Yang Zheng. And away fast too was Hannah Jones, but showing out Kayama of Japan. So Kayama in front at the moment. Coming through late on the outside is Britton. Britton closing. Kayama, I think, just in front of Britton. Shibata in the mix. Jones there as well. And just behind them was Admazovsky. So pretty sure it's Kayama who's got the win here in 13.12 unofficially. And we'll just check on that time. And that, if it holds up, will be a meet record. In fact, it's 13.11, so that is actually legal. That with a wind of 1.2, that's fast running.
Yeah, Zhang, Boya Zhang, the Taipei athlete, she got a great start and really pushed the tempo early, but Kayama, the 33-year-old with that 12.96 personal best, from May in 2023. She was third in the Japanese 60-metre indoors on the 1st of February, so has been racing, but certainly looked really, really good over that last 3 flights of hurdles and finished off strongly. She'll be really happy with that one with a 33-year-old.
So let's check those results. So Kayama at 13.11, Emily Britton at 13.20. So her best is 13.09 from 2023. And Bo Yang Zhang at 13.24. And Jordan Mazovsky will be happy, I think, with that, with 13.40. And then Shibata, Jones, Search, and Managi, those times. A personal best for Amelia Search there at 13.44.
Yeah, great effort, especially after doing the long jump as well. Like, absolutely fantastic to get over there and then get a personal best. And a great run there by Britton. Emily Britton will be wrapped with that.
So here's the replay of the meet record we've just seen from Matt Denny at 67.82.
Wow.
So that is a massive first throw. His personal best is 69.96. The meet record prior to this was 65.93, so he's put 2 metres. Just saw Jemima Montag go past a moment ago and we said good day to her. Jemima walks tomorrow.
Yep.
The championships are tomorrow in Adelaide. 20k and 35k, no, just the 20ks tomorrow, men and women, here in Adelaide tomorrow.
What about that? An Olympic medalist times 2. It's pretty impressive by Jemima Montag. Gosh, we've got some talent in the Australian team.
So let's go back to the discus here. So,
That's Darcy.
yep, let's see what Darcy's been able to do here. Darcy Miller, so this will be his second attempt. His first one was a no throw. So Darcy, such a promising South Australian youngster, he's not happy with that by the look of it.
It's really difficult with the discus and the throws events when you're transferring from the junior weights to the senior weights, and then obviously it's such a strong person's event, so sometimes it takes a few years as you go from the juniors into the seniors to develop that strength that you're able to then compete with the more mature throwers. So Darcy Miller is just going through that phase of his career at the moment, and still got some great distances to his name, but he'll get better as he goes along.
So that was 54.65 Tams, and his personal best 56.38. So it's not too far off. He's the Oceania champion. He was 12th at the World Junior Championships in Cali a couple of years ago. Women's pole vault, or here's the men's lineup for the hurdles. The women's pole vault, by the way, Trafina Hewitt, the young South Australian Georgia Taylor, both over at 385. Hewitt, a bronze medalist from the World Juniors. So Taylor Willis, I should say, created, and Mitch Lightfoot, of course, such a star as well, but Willis created such a stir last year, didn't he?
Oh, how good was his year? Now, we're just talking about how hard it is from the juniors for throwing events to transfer to seniors. It's the same with the men's high hurdles, because it's such a different event with the height of the hurdle that the men have to go over when they hit that seniors is so super high. If you stand next to them, it's actually a little bit of a shock, because it's a really difficult event to transfer from that junior ranks to seniors, but Taylor has done it so well. 21-year-old, and he went to the Olympic Games last year, and I'm really excited to see how he's going to go over the hurdles, because he ran the 60 metres at Zatopek in December last year, and it looks like he's really worked on his raw speed. So it'll be interesting to see how he's going as well. And Mitch Lightfoot, 21 as well, and he was 4th in those World Under-20s. So the two of them have pushed themselves together in the junior ranks, and it'll be great to see what sort of shape Mitch is in as well.
So Matt Denny's back in the circle in the discus, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a look at Matt, he's already thrown a huge meet record of 67.82. His Australian record is 69.96. So Matt here, conditions obviously pretty good. He's pumped, he's prepared well. Let's see if he can get close to that meet record again and maybe go beyond it. It's high, and that one's around 65 metres. So just had a lot of elevation, didn't it? So Matt already with a spectacular start here with a 67.8. So we'll keep our eye on what's happening there. So in the hurdles tonight, this is such an international field. Ireland in 2 with Matt Behan. Brazil with Lucas de Souza in 4. Taipei with Kuru Shen in 5. Tetsuro Nishi of Japan in 7. And then you've got the leading Australians, of course, Sam Herwood in 3 of Queensland. Taylor Willis, Victoria in 6. Mitchell Lightfoot, New South Wales, 2 from the outside in 8, and Austin Little of New South Wales, both 21 years of age.
D'Souza, the 21-year-old from Brazil in the all black there, having a great time out there, just chatting to himself and just going through the motion. You can see he's just discussing what he has to do, because they will be looking down the track and they'll see those 10 flights of really high hurdles, and they come at you very fast out of those blocks. Getting over that first one is often the most difficult part of the men's 110 hurdles. There we have Kuiru Chen, the national record holder of Chinese Taipei, with that 13:34 from 2019. It's his first race of the year. He's a World University silver medalist from back in 2017. 31 years of age now, but a quality athlete in this field.
He's the fastest man in the field if you look at their personal best. So he's a 10th quicker than Taylor. So Taylor Willis, who's in the black strip there with the 6 on his leg, he's the 3rd fastest ever. Behind his now coach Kyle van der Kuip and Nick Huff. They're the 2 men in front of him, but Taylor made great strides last year, so to speak. So I'm not sure, they're just still getting themselves organised in the back straight there. So Denny's second was at 64.95. So Lawrence Okoye at 62.04. What a performer he's been over the years. Ethan Ayadole has done 58.71. So that's a personal best. Now, Ethan was 6th in the World Juniors last year. He's done a 58.71. So the discus throwing tonight is at a very high level. So a meet record and a personal best from one of Australia's young stars there. So Ethan's just 19 years of age, getting up towards 60 metres. So let's have a look here. So, Tsutsumi from Japan going there.
Not too happy with that one. They know straight away after they've thrown it, don't they, if it's come out of the wrist well or not?
They do. So still a little bit of a delay here. So D'Souza and Willis. So in the women's pole vault, 3 athletes are attempting 4 metres. Trafina Hewitt, South Australian. Georgia Taylor, who's having a terrific season so far with a personal best of 4:25. And Sumpnor Rangi, one of the twins that have done so well in the last 12 months out of Victoria, all going at 4 metres along with Olivia Gross. So all of them have had one failure at 4 metres. So that action happening near, as you can see, the discus net there, again at the northern end of the stadium. Long jump for men about to start. Right in front of us here as we go back to the back straight and the men's hurdles. So
Lane 7 might be one to watch in this race. Nishi, the Japanese 21-year-old, I think he was the recent Japanese indoor champion. And I think you mentioned that he'd be one of the ones to watch, didn't you?
He'll be fast early.
Yeah.
He won the 60 indoor. He's run 13.57. And he's only 20 years of age. And Japan has a great history in men's high hurdles. They've got some fantastic high hurdlers.
Yeah.
And this is one of their new stars. So Taylor Willis just being introduced now. So Taylor will be put under pressure early here by Nishi, you would think, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's great though, because I think they've recognised. I mean, he's got a coaching squad, doesn't he? It's a coaching squad. He's got Kyle van der Kuip, Sam Leslie, and John Stephenson has been helping him, and they've really worked on his speed.
So Krishna Rangi there missing at a second attempt at 4 metres.
They've really worked on his flat speed, and you could see that from the Zatopek 60 metres. So I think that's what they'll be wanting to see. They'll want to see that 60 metre speed translate to the hurdle race here.
So in the starter's hands now. Willis right in the middle in the black strip. Nishi next to him. And then Lightfoot 2 from the left. About to go. Away, Willis got a good start, beat Nishi to the first hurdle. In fact, Willis clearly in front, Herwood behind them, and then Lightfoot. If Willis could stay clean here, it's going to be really quick. Trying to run him down is Shen and also Nishi, but Willis clearly in front, and it looks pretty fast, around about 13.50 and some. That is a really first-class performance first up. Start was so good, wasn't it?
Loved it, absolutely loved it, and it has translated. That 60-metre speed, that speed he's been working on has translated across to the hurdles. He was able to, it's different from a 60-metre race where you have that drive phase and you're trying to stay low through the first 10 metres. You have to pop up when that gun goes off at the hurdle, sight that first hurdle and clear it cleanly. Taleb's had a wonderful run here, and he really has worked on his speed, and I think that race will give him a lot of confidence for the season.
It's slightly windy at 2.3, but so it doesn't stand up legitimately as going to go into the record books with 13.56. And sometimes a tailwind's not good for high hurdling, is it?
That's exactly what I was about to say, because it pushes you onto that next hurdle. So it makes it a little bit tricky. You kind of don't want too much of a wind in the high hurdles, because those 3 steps between, you don't want to get pushed to that next hurdle and get out of rhythm and out of position. You have to control the speed with the tailwind. And Taleb Willis looked fantastic. How is he only 21? Because he's certainly running with a lot more maturity than that over this event.
So some terrific running there. Willis at 13.56, Nishi at 13.76, and the other young Australian who is showing so much promise, Mitchell Lightfoot, will be happy with that at 13.91. We're building up to one of the races of the night, the women's 800 metres. Peter Bowles not that far away as well, and Matt Denny is not too far away. He's done a 67.50 by the way in his 3rd throw. He's on fire.
That's why they save more money every year by getting their prescriptions from Chemist Warehouse. And you will too. Head online or look for our price list in store to see how much you'll save. Chemist Warehouse, discounting prescriptions every day.
Welcome back. Arguably the race of the night, and I think we can say that with a fair bit of conviction.
You won't get an argument from me.
Well, you're one of the great stars, so Discus at the moment, so young Ethan in the ring, but we'll keep an eye on that. Denny's not too far away, so there's Ellie Sanford.
Great to see her back. Ellie had some injury problems last year, but she's done a lot of training and made the move to New South Wales.
So here's the lineup for the women's 800 metres, and why are we so excited? Because there are 4 athletes here that are all capable of doing anything tonight. And they're Abby Caldwell, Georgia Griffith, Bendiria Boyer and Sarah Billings. And that's not undermining Imogen Barrett, Jayla Hancock Cameron, Carly Thomas, Shani Landon from Israel with such a record, and Ellie Sanford. The pace will be Maluka Rose Taylor. Nadia Power is from Ireland and she's the national indoor record holder. So what's a good speed for them to go through at halfway here?
Look, because there's such quality in this field and you've got 5 athletes that have gone sub-2, you want it to be quick early because otherwise it's going to get really rough. So I think 57 seconds is the perfect pace through that 400 metres, and you can run really fast off that. I know it's windy, but I think in a field of this calibre, it's honestly just like being in a diamond in a Grand Prix meet over in Europe. It's a quality field, and we've got Caldwell, who did so well at those Olympic Games. She made the semi-final and ran 1:58.52 in that semi-final for 5th. Even won that repechage heat and looked just brilliant. And her heat run that made her run that repechage, she ran 1:58.49. What an incredible heat run. So Abby Caldwell, who's also great over 1500, and then you've got Georgia Griffith with her world-class middle distance credentials. And Sarah Billings and Oboya were perhaps 2 of the luckiest athletes to miss that Olympic Games team. Oboya is such an exciting talent. It's wonderful to have her back as we see Maddie Denny.
So we'll just hopefully hold the 800 metres start up. So Matt Denny already tonight twice has broken the meet record, 67.82 and 67.50. So let's see what Matt's got for us here. And that one going, and around about 65 and a half to 66. So the quality has been, as you'd expect, from an Olympic bronze medalist and one of the great discus throwers in the world. Fantastic performance so far by Matt, and still with a couple of throws to come.
And as I was saying about Sarah Billings, the 1500 metre runner, went sub-4 last year, so unlucky to miss that Olympic team as well. But Bendiria Boyer, what an exciting talent. 1:58.56 in Vienna to win that race. She's still only 24 years of age and has such wonderful 400 metre pace. Clearly the fastest over 400 in the field. And another one to look out for, and it's wonderful to see her back. She's had a tough time since the juniors with the breaking of her leg. Carly Thomas, a world junior medalist over 800 metres, and ran that brilliant 4x400 metre leg to get the team on the podium as well and split super fast. So there's a lot to look at this race, and Tess Kersop-Cole and Sanford have also represented Australia as well.
So if they go at 57 pace, who do you think is most likely to sit on the shoulder of the pacemaker? Who's the one do you think will go forward?
I think Bendiria Boyer is the one that should, because when you've got 1500 metre runners in the field, you want to take some of the sting out of their legs.
Women's 800, they're away. It's going to be one of the big highlights of the night. There's been a build-up to it. We're expecting that young Aluka Rose Taylor will take the field through. She's only 15 years of age, by the way. Our pacemaker take the field through in around about 57 and a half seconds. Now, at the moment, she's gone out very, very hard, and Abby Caldwell's going to kick up in behind her. So there's the group behind her. So Caldwell with a 3 on her back. Barrett just behind her. O'Boyer's moved up into a good spot. Griffith back a little at the moment. So unfortunately, just the pace just a little bit too far in front of the group at the moment. Hopefully they'll get some shield from the headwind here in the straight.
That's okay, though. At least she's not in the way. So she's got herself cleared and out of the way, and she's setting that pace. They've got someone to at least look at. And Abby Caldwell has made sure that she's the one who's trying to bridge that gap and catch on to the pace. And Bendiria Boyer, we can see her here. She's looking super relaxed. This tempo, after running a 51.8 400 metres in the last month, is so super easy for her.
so it's slower than we expected, but I think that's got a lot to do with the fact that it's such a windy night. So Caldwell's left in front here with the battle in the back. So Barrett in second place, and then a Boyer just in behind her. Thomas is in that mix too on the inside. I'm looking for Griffith. She's about fourth in the back, and Billings is just up in front of her in about fifth or sixth place with a 6 on her back. So a Boyer goes straight past Caldwell here. We know how strong Caldwell can be. Thomas just in behind those, and Sanford just up in front of Thomas, and now Billings starting to make a run as well. So they've got about 150 to go, and now Caldwell starts to attack.
Yeah, Caldwell's come back. She knows that she's strong at this part of an 800 metre race. She's got the running in her legs, and she is looking for home.
So Abby Caldwell, semi-finalist at the Olympics last year. Georgia Griffith comes to the extreme outside in the straight to try and make a run. A Boyer still in second place, and then Billings, but Caldwell's clear. It's going to be around about a 2:01. Caldwell first, a Boyer, Billings maybe with a Boyer, and then Griffith behind those, and then Thomas and Sanford behind those. Kersop, Cole, Barrett, Hancock, Cameron, Landon and Power. It wasn't as quick as we expected, but it was a real race, and Abby absolutely demonstrated her superiority over that field tonight.
So unfortunately, I think the nerves of your first 800 metres came into it for a few of them. There's such a quality field that they watched each other a little bit too much. No one was willing to go with that pace. I know the first 200 metres was super fast, but then they didn't catch back up and make sure that first 400 metres was quick. Georgia Griffith is so wide at this point. And I just think it was that first race nerves. I think what we'll see moving forward is you'll see Banderia Boyer being a little bit braver in that first 400 metres. She'll go back and she'll talk to her coach, Craig Mottram, and they'll work out, yeah, I've got to go fast. I've got to run some sting out of an Abby Caldwell's legs, because Abby always runs an 800 metres tactically super, super well. And she finished so strong, and that's what she's great at. And that was another awesome run by Abby.
It was. Sarah Billings gets second, Banderia Boyer third. Great way to start the season, Mitch, for one of our very best athletes in Abby Caldwell.
A fantastic way to start the season for Abby Caldwell. Abby, that could just about be a national final there in February. The mental game before that, did the plan go the way you wanted it to?
Yeah, I didn't want to go over too much for a plan. There's so many solid girls in there, but yeah, I just wanted a strong hit out. I wanted to stamp my authority, and I'm happy with that. I didn't think it was going to be fast tonight. So yeah, I can't ask for more.
The willingness to go to the lead there when you know the calibre of athlete behind you, is that just to stay out of trouble? Is it a conscious decision to push the tempo? Sort of, how do you break that apart?
I certainly want to be in a good position, and for me that was at the front, and we didn't actually go through that quick, so I was comfortable there, and I thought I had no need to back it off, so I was comfortable. I thought I'll stay here, I'm out in trouble, and yeah.
I mean, you had a little pressure in the last 150. Banderi there looked like you just dropped back, but then that ability to get around. You've been working on anything differently in training there, because you gapped out by about 5 metres?
Yeah, I think I've done a lot of speed work over the last 12 months, and I think it's starting to pay off more now than ever. So yeah, I'm very glad, but yeah, the pressure, I feel it for sure.
Congratulations, Abby. A great field to beat there. We'll see you for the rest of the year.
Thanks so much, Mitch.
Well done, and to Abby Caldwell. We'll catch our breath and be back with Peter Bowl and Matt Denny still going in the discus, and Peter Bowl about to go in the 800 metres.
Victoria in lane 4, Jack Lund. Representing Victoria and a 3-time Olympian representative.
Always a great highlight to see that man on any running track around the world. I'm talking about Peter Bowl, and next to him Luke Shaw, but Peter fourth in that famous Olympics in Tokyo when he led them out of the straight into the back straight. It was an incredible series that he put together, Tamsin. And then that silver medal quality race in Birmingham at the Commonwealth Games. It's great to have him back here.
Oh, it's wonderful to have him back, and it's going to be great to see what sort of shape he's in. He's a new dad.
So let's watch for Peter Bowl here. So it's a good field, a very good field. If he's at his top, he's the warm favourite. Riley McGowan's there. He was the national champion a couple of years ago, got to the Budapest World Championship. So Peter pushing up, and Mason Cohen next to him on the inside. So the pace here, Peter's going to now let the pace go through. So Brett Fisk to take up the pace, and Bowles got himself into a good spot.
He looks great. He looks nice and smooth. That's what we want to see from Pete in this first 300 metres of an 800 metres. He's controlling the tempo, looks relaxed through the shoulders. Another athlete that's really interesting to watch is the one that's right on his shoulders, the 17-year-old Williams. Daniel Williams has a 1:47.08 personal best, and he's been rewriting his record book. So he ran the under 20 1,500 metres at the World Under-20s last year, and he's in third position.
So around about that 52 for Peter and Daniel. So Daniel just 17 years of age, so sitting on the back of Bowl. McAuliffe just behind those. Jack Lund's somebody I think to watch. He's number 4. He's got a good finish on him. We know that. Luke Shaw's just up in front of him and Mason Cohen. But Bowl leads in the back straight. That beautiful action of his. And the young 17-year-old Daniel Williams has gone up onto the shoulder of Peter Bowl and gone past him at the 200.
Well, here's where racing comes into it. And Williams has hard race legs, and he's gone past Bowl. But look, Bowl still looks nice and relaxed. He looks like he's going to come back at him. And he just hasn't done the racing for a while. But Pete Bowl looks pretty confident here.
So we've got a 17-year-old in front of Peter Bowl at the moment with 80 to go, but Peter gets up alongside of him, goes past Daniel Williams, and now stretching away Jack Lund in third place. But there's a couple of great stories here. Peter Bowl back, it's pretty quick too, and Daniel Williams clapping over the line. Peter Bowl, have a look at that embrace. The old and the new, and I say the old with all the respect in the world because we've been with him for a long, long time. Williams, I reckon, is going to get a personal best here, something really big for a 17-year-old, and Lund in third place. A great race, what a great race, and that last 400 metres was just awesome, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I love the confidence of a 17-year-old. Doesn't matter that Pete Bowles finished 4th in an Olympic Games. He's going to go past him because he's got super confidence. He's certainly broken a lot of personal bests over the 800 metres. We thought of him as a 1,500 metre runner last year, and he was only 6th on this track at the 800 metres in the under-20s at Nationals last year, and he certainly has had a year of improvement.
He certainly has, and this was the moment, wasn't it? This was the moment, and Peter, to his absolute credit, kept his cool. But what about the audacity of a 17-year-old?
But the thing is, he's done quite a few races, and that race hardness for 800 metres, you just can't replicate it in training. So Pete Bowl, I'm loving what I'm seeing. He stayed calm, and he was able to use that relaxation in the last 100 metres, come over the top of Williams, and he'll take some confidence from this as well.
Matt Denny, by the way, has concluded a fantastic series. So Peter Bowl, 1:46.40. Daniel Williams, a personal best at 17 of 1:46.70. And Jack Lund, 1:47.71. Peyton Craig really announced himself this time last year. And look at Daniel there.
Signing autographs.
Mitch, that was a moment. We did enjoy that. How sweet it was.
You're right, Bruce. That was a moment. Pete, the 17-year-old kid comes around you with 200 metres to go. Your thought process, what was it?
First I was like, who is that?
Yeah.
and then secondly I was like, man, he's moving well. Just stay calm. We can find out who he is at the end of the race. And I did, and I said that was brave to him at the end. And what a run. So brave to just go against the wind and take it on. So excited for the 800 in Australia for sure.
1:46 for both of you there. Now, when you come into a race like this, your season opener, what's that metric of success for you? Is it a time? Is it a win? Is it a feeling now as you get to this part of your career? What does that look like?
I think a combination of everything you just said. It's important to come out here and win races, but it's also important to come out here and run fast races. You can see around the world, everyone's running fast races. They can maintain it throughout the year, so that's the goal anyways. The conditions weren't ideal today, but we still had a good race, good crowd, so it's great just to be out and racing again.
It's great to see Pete Bowl with a smile on his face. Mate, you were smiling the second you came across the line. You're smiling, taking photos with the kids over there. Are you back really loving this sport once again?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, and I always love Adelaide. I ran here a few years ago and it was so much fun. Tonight was probably the first time I had so much fun racing, so yeah, I'm definitely back, and it's going to be an exciting year, so watch out. Sydney coming up, and then whatever throughout the rest of the year.
Pete, I'm going to let you get back to your adoring fans. Great to have you back. Well done, mate.
Pete Bowl there with Mitch Tyler, so all those fans. So let's have a look at the results from the two 800-metre races. We start with the women, Cornwall, Billings and Oboya.
Yeah, they'll be a little bit disappointed with those times, but the best thing about it is they've got that 800 metres, that first 800 metres of 2025 in their legs now, and they can move on from that.
And there was a gap between Abby and the field, wasn't there?
It's just her wonderful racing now. She's so good in the last 150 metres.
And the second place, so Imogen and then Shani Landon from Israel. And here's the men's final results. So Pete Bowl, that's a good time to start. And Daniel Williams is a very, very big story here at 17.
A huge story. He's been a big story since Zadapek last year. That was just a wonderful, wonderful race to see after he won the Zadapek 800 and he's gone from strength to strength, and he was not afraid of senior competition and competed really well. But I did love Pete Bowl's race then. I just thought that he was fantastic, and it's wonderful to see him back here signing autographs, and it was wonderful listening to his interview. He did seem a lot more calm, and he has that faith in his ability to come back. He said, watch this space. You know, he knows that he has the ability to compete really well on the world stage, and I think he'll take a lot of confidence from this race. And like I said before, he's got distractions away from the track, and sometimes that helps. He is a new dad now, so he can walk away from his training and he can get distracted a little bit and have some fun with that part of his life.
Well summed up, Tamsin, absolutely perfectly. So long jump for men going on at the moment. So the leader is Sam Taylor at 7.73 now. That's slightly windy over Mason McGroder, who's just 16 years of age, as we see Peter with those beautiful shots. So Mason, the bronze medalist from the World Juniors last year, he's 15, the youngest ever Australian medalist from the World Under-20s at 7.65. That's legal tonight. And Harrison Williams at 7.59. And I'm just going to check with Sam Taylor. His best is 7.86, so 7.73 slightly windy. He's not far off. And here's the men's discus. This was the highlight so far of the night in terms of quality. Matt Denny, a big meet record at 67.82.
It's an incredible result, isn't it? You know, he certainly is going from strength to strength. He was fantastic last year getting on the podium at the Olympics, having that personal best. It's so close to 70 metres, but you almost feel like, okay, that 70 metres is now about when, not if.
I do. Ayodele in Okoye second place, of course. He's been a remarkable Olympian and also American gridiron player.
Taylor.
Georgia Taylor. So that's her third and final event for 420. So she will win with 410 over Trafina Hewitt with 410. Suknor Ranji at 385. So that's a count-back victory because Georgia got over at 410 on her first attempt and Trafina got over on her third attempt.
A great effort by Georgia, who trains at Box Hill, where so many of our famous, successful pole vaulters have come out of that training centre.
So here are some of those results we're getting. So this is good stuff. I hope you're enjoying it at home. And Georgia Taylor, she's done 425 this year. Trafina is a 180 high jumper. So Trafina's got huge talent. Her parents do so much for athletics here in South Australia as officials and running meets. Suknor Ranji at 385. Her twin is Kushnor. They're both highly talented. Olivia Gross, we know her sister so well, Mia, and Alicia Kenshall, who's a quality athlete, but not tonight for her. Nina Kennedy, of course, will be competing in Perth in a fortnight's time. So Nina, the world and Olympic champion in that event in the pole vault. So we're going back to the long jump here. So this is Sam Taylor, our current leader, with 7.73. So that was windy. So Sam, he's 22 years of age from New South Wales, was a decathlete. So here's Sam Taylor, current leader in the long jump. And does he get the white flag there? Let's hope he does. He likes it. He really likes it. His personal best is 7.86. He's been close to that as we go back to the track for another big highlight here, Tamsin. It's the men's 200 metres.
Yeah, this certainly is another highlight of the meet, and we talked about how we've got such good sprinting stocks, and it's great to see two of our juniors in the outside lanes there. You can see Murphy and Caleb Law, who did so well at those World Under-20s in 2022.
So Reese Holden not with us here. So Reese Holden not with us. So have to check on what's happening there because he's had a terrific start to the season. He's the 400 metre second fastest ever in Australia with that 44.53 in the heat at the Olympic Games. But Law here in 7. Murphy, of course, a former Australian champion. He and Caleb have been great rivals, haven't they, Aidan and Caleb? Because Aidan's mother was one of the all-time great South Australian athletes in Tanya Van Heer.
Yeah, great athlete, Tanya Van Heer. Had such range of 100, 200 and 400, and her son Aidan certainly has that as well. He ran a 400 recently, so I think that sort of racing early in the season will definitely help that back end of his 200 metres.
Geez, Lockie Kennedy's a brave man. I mean, that 100 hurt late, and here he is in the middle lane. So Tapuni inside, Jordas, Ayus, Kennedy. We saw them all in the 100. Despar we saw in the 100. Law we saw in the 100. Murphy's the fresh one. He's in the outside lane. Men's 200 metres, about to go. Away, you'd expect Kennedy in the middle to be the leader early, and he quickly goes up to Despar, going strongly. Law out wide, he goes up to Murphy. Ayus is having a good run in the white, into the straight. Kennedy just leads from Law, coming up alongside of him, and then Ayus and Despar. Kennedy hanging on, Law hasn't quite got him, now he has. Caleb comes away and beats Lockie. It's Law over Kennedy, and third place will be Despar, Ayus, Murphy, Jordas and Tapuni. It took him a while. Have a look at that. The two training partners with Andrew Island, they're stoked.
Well, Caleb Law certainly looks like he's a little bit fresher than Kennedy does at the moment. But, you know, Kennedy spoke about after that 100 metres how the last 40 metres was a little bit tough. But he certainly shocked a few people then. I thought he ran a great bend, Lachlan Kennedy. But it took Caleb a little bit more hard work to get over the top of him. But, you know, I think the wind in that front straight was pretty tough for the lads, and I think the 21.06 is possibly not the time that they were after, but he still looked great. Let's have a look at this first 100 metres by Lachlan Kennedy. Look at that drive phase. He's really, really powerful out of the blocks, and he certainly uses that well here around the bend. There's a little bit of tension on some of the athletes coming around the bend. Ayus looks a little bit tense, but you've got to come off that bend and stay relaxed. Nice slingshot off the bend by Kennedy, and then he starts to get a bit tired. And look at the difference. Caleb Law starts to open up his leg stride nice and relaxed, and that's how he gets over the top of his training partner.
Terrific race, good contest, slowish times, but look at the wind, minus 3.3.
Yeah.
So it's a gale in the straight, to be truthful. So Law, Kennedy, Despar. Kennedy, a real eye-opener. Law running well. Ayus, Murphy, still not where he was, with work to do. Tapuni and Jordas, who's had a couple of runs. Mitch, Caleb had the best smile on his face since Peter Bowl 3 minutes ago.
He's still smiling down here, Caleb, actually. Was there a little cheeky look on the inside to the training partner saying, I've got ya?
We had a bit of rivalry at training for the past couple of weeks about this 200 because we knew it was coming up, and he pushed me more than I thought he would. Yeah. So good job to him, but I still got the win, so I'm happy.
You've had a really good start to 2025. I feel like you've found some really nice form over a range of distances as well. Yeah. Just talk to me about the training and how fit and how happy you're feeling.
Yeah, I've been trying to do more like 100s. Because last season I did one 100 all last season, so it wasn't very good. But training with Lockie's amazing, so he's the best right now, so he pushes me really hard, so it's really good.
Yeah. Where do you go next now? Do you just stay at the 200? Are you going to still continue to race these 100s? What does that look like?
I think the priority still is the 2s, but I'll still be doing 1s.
Yeah, brilliant. Hey, Caleb, congratulations. You get the win over the training partner. We'll see you for the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Good start for the season, isn't it, from the youngster? A break, women's 200 metres coming up after this.
South Australia, and a personal best for him as well. 7.4 tonight here at the Adelaide Invitational.
Women's 200 metres, Sophia Figueroa on the inside of Carla Ball, one of the favourites here, Carla, just 22 years of age. A couple of years ago won the stall gift. Christy Edwards was seen so far tonight. She's a fantastic bend runner. And there's Georgia Hulls, a New Zealander, 3 times the national champion at 200 metres. And they are men's, just 16 years of age, ran well in the 100 tonight. Jess Millett, 4th at the World Juniors last year in the final. She ran 3 incredible races. Olivia Inkster was a semi-finalist at the World Juniors in 2022 and part of the 4x100 last year.
So we've got some of those new names of sprinting coming through in this race, which is going to be great to see, because Millett is one that a lot of people have spoken about in terms of her ability over 200 metres. They have mentioned maybe in the future 400 metres, but certainly has the 200 metres to push to see how fast she can go before she steps up to that. But a 23.53 at the 200 metre heats at the ACT champ, so clearly in shape. Let's see what she can do here.
And she's 2 from the left and 2 from the right. Here's Carla Ball, and Christy Edwards is 3 from the right. We're about to go. Away, clean start. So Millett, not the fastest out. She never is, but she's 2 from the left. Ball got away pretty well. Edwards has run a fantastic first bend. So in the ponytail, Edwards leads into the straight from Inkster. Millett will be strong late, but she's going to have to give Edwards a really big start here. Edwards clearly in front of Ball and Millett. Millett coming home hard, but it's Christy Edwards with a very big margin. Millett closes late, 3rd Ball, and then behind the Means, and then Hulls and Figueroa. Inkster showed out early. But Christy Edwards set it up, Tamsin, in the first 50 metres.
Great to see Christy Edwards getting a win here too, because so often she's overshadowed by some of the other names, and she's been such a good athlete over the last decade through the junior ranks. And wonderful start by Christy Edwards. Let's have a look at her start. 3rd from the right. She really powered out of those blocks well. Drive phase was fantastic. Once she was up into her runner, you can see that big arm action, really making sure she still has the high knee lift, and she knows she's going to come into that brick wall of a wind here. Holding her form well. Jess Millett at 20 years of age, this back end into the headwind is pretty special. She really starts to do some work here and start to bridge that gap a little bit, but the damage had been done by Edwards on the bend.
And a clear cut winner, Millett closing hard, and Ball gets through for 3rd. So minus 3.1. We saw the men at something similar. It is so difficult. So 23.85, 24.09 and 24.56. So Mitch, another fantastic run, and Christy is, well, at 24 years of age, she's got so much to look forward to, hasn't she?
So much to look forward to. I mean, you had a big year last year, Christy, but get out there and get a win here in the domestic season. How does that feel?
Pretty good. It's been, a big year last year, so it's really good to get off to a good start this year and get the ball rolling, and I'm happy.
It felt like you just about beat the gun. In the first 50 metres, you're already about 10 metres ahead. That start, been something that you've been working on in this new year. It's always been good, but that was electric.
Yeah, it's good. I know that in the 200, there's a lot of really strong girls, and they've come home really strong, so I knew I had to get out there fast, and kind of that's where I was going to make up the distance. So, yeah, I tried to push hard, been working hard with, got a new coach this year, Andrew Murphy. The training with Ella, Connolly and Makara has been really good for helping me kind of step it up.
I want to ask, I know you guys and girls push each other so much, but you also seem really close on these relay camps and social media. So how do you draw that line from being so friendly and so loved up to then competing? Because it seems like white line fever kicks in, you all want to get over that line. Yeah,
I think that's what makes it so fun. And I think that's what helps us to push each other and push the sport forward. And we all just get on so well and have a good time together. So it's always fun, but yeah, once we get on that start line, it's we all want to win. So, but yeah, we had a good time doing it.
Hey, Christy, congratulations, a great win. These kids are about to jump over the fence, so I'll let you get over to them. Well done.
Good, thank you.
Well done, Mitch. Christy with a terrific couple of races tonight and getting the result there in the 200. So this is the final track event for the night. Men's long jump still going on. At Denny tonight, an absolute highlight. So Jess McManus and Hannah Tourneur doing the work here. Jess is someone we see a lot now in the long jump. Harrison Williams has had a personal best of 7.77 and leads the competition from Sam Taylor with 7.73, and the 16-year-old, just turned 16, Mason McGroder at 7.65. Ollie Callahan's had a personal best at 7.41, and Jayden Rucker, so well known, of course, his father as well, an incredible NBL star in Derek at 7.40, and Ari Gesson, our T38 athlete tonight, has had a personal best at 6.15. So there's a whole lot of good things happening in the men's long jump as we watch the women's 5,000 metres?
Well, this women's 5,000 metres has some athletes in here that are going to be worth watching, some of them coming back from some injury, some of them we haven't seen for a little while on the track. I'm looking forward to seeing how Georgia Hansen goes. She's tucked in there with the greeny blue top on. 26-year-old, was a talented junior and has run a mile race so far in February and was 5th in the Zatopek in 3,000 metres. But she is an athlete. You can just see her there at the back of the field with the number 6 on her hip.
The green top there. So you're 5 from the back, Tamsin, on the inside.
A great cross-country runner, has represented Australia at World Cross. And other athletes to watch. Jenny Blundell will be a great one to watch here too as well. She's really talented, tough as nails, great range. She's a semi-finalist in the 1,500 metres in 2016 Olympics and went to Tokyo in the 5,000 metres. Just had a few injuries that she's had to battle through, and this will be her first race back since July.
Caitlin Adams, a local favourite. Liane Pompiani, of course, is an absolute star. Holly Campbell, we've seen at the Zatopek in recent years go so well. Of course, a famous family there as well. Natalie Rule, that was in Birmingham and also in Eugene at the World Championship. So it's a strong field. You'd think on a night like tonight that 15:45, something like that, around inside 16 minutes, it just can't be quick on a night like tonight.
No, well, it is really windy. It just depends on your mindset, though, because we did see with Cara Fian Ryan that she attacked it and she wasn't afraid of the wind, because perhaps maybe she knew that there wasn't the competition as much in that race that she was battling against with the Australians that, you know, we know have done so well with Amy Cash and co that have and Georgia Whincup, and so when they weren't there, she was probably a little bit less scared of the end result. She was able to attack it, and she did, and she got a great time here. In some of these middle distance fields, we've had such depth in the field that they've probably been watching each other a little bit more than worrying about the time. They want to get the win more than they want to get the fast time with these conditions. So
some of our high-rated distance runners have been doing some very good things in half marathons, etc. So this is Mason McGroder we're seeing on the screen. So this young boy is such a star. I know that the Sydney Swans are chasing him to play AFL football. He's a bronze medalist at 15 years of age in the World Under-20 Championships. He did a personal best in Lima on that night when he did 780. He's a very, very big talent. 7:65 so far tonight in third place. Mason on the runway in the men's long jump. You can see what a physique he's got, Tamsin. What an impressive young man he is, both on and off the track. I've been lucky enough to meet him and his father at a couple of functions with that Jane Fleming has organised, and Simon Hollingsworth, and he really is a fine young man. Back to the 5,000, you can see Werner, the athlete from the USA. She's running a little bit wider. They're just trying to find their positions. Natalie Rule, who you mentioned earlier, she had a great 2022 where she represented Australia in those Eugene World Championships, and unfortunately was sick and didn't have the championships that she possibly wants to remember, but she's come back and she's been going so well. She ran a personal best over that 5,000 last year in Oregon. And she has dabbled in steeplechase before, but I think this is her event at the moment, the 5,000 metres. So it'll be interesting to see how Natalie Rule, wearing the number 3 on her hip, goes here tonight. So in third place with Caitlin Adams coming around, Mason McGroder, 7.73 metres. So he's in third place on a countback, but that's close to his personal best. That's a really strong 5th attempt by Mason. So he's very much in the mix as we come back. So we'll continue to see there Sam Taylor. We come back, and Harrison Williams will be next up in the men's long jump, who's the current leader in his 5th. So this is Hannah Tourneur. Now, Hannah's father, Dominic Tourneur, is a leading jockey in South Australia. He's a great guy, Dom. He rode Alco Pop, the famous Alco Pop.
Oh, I know that horse.
You do. So Dom Tourneur is a great guy. He'll be here tonight, and Hannah's showing so much potential. She's 16 years of age, and she's doing the pace work here. And it's quite nerve-wracking when you have to pace those athletes that you look up to, and you've seen them on the big screen representing Australia, and you've been charged with that role, and she's doing a great job. She certainly doesn't look too nervous. She has that long, rangy leg stride, and she's out there. She knows that they're not right on her shoulder, but she's just trying to hit those tempos that they've asked for, and she's doing great. Yeah, she's got a big future, so we'll watch for her as well. So still a big group here, as we saw in the men's. The men's 5,000 metres came right down to it at the end, so some to watch here. Leonie Pompiani, Holly Campbell, Georgia Hanson, Natalie Raw. Amy Robinson's been running well this season over all sorts of distances, hasn't she? She's wearing number 1 tonight. 7 at the back there is Holly Campbell, just up in front of her. Well, Georgia Hanson's up in front of her, and up in front of her also is Clara Dess. So still the big group. And Mitch, let's get down to you, because you are with the star of the night. That was some performance, ladies and gentlemen, by the great Matt Denny.
We are here with the star of the night. I think they caught him off guard there.
I was like, what are we doing?
Mate, meet record though.
Yeah.
You get out there and you throw a good series. How do you feel about the night?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I felt in a lot better nick. The conditions were kind of good at the start when we were warming up, and then just kind of turned. So, you know, a lot of my throws, I felt like I was getting some good distances, and then they would just die out of the sky. So I was really keen to get over 70 today, but just, you know, it's still my best season opener and to meet records. So I'll take that, and it's definitely a lot better start than what I had last year. And I mean, that turned out pretty well for the rest of the year. So.
I wonder, you know, to start your year expecting a 70, I mean, that's got to be fresh territory for you. I know you always want a lot, but coming off the back of such a huge year last year, the bronze medal, you win another Diamond League title. Is this just adding fuel to this fire, this confidence that now when you step into the ring, that marker isn't intimidating anymore, it's an expectation?
Well, I think also the level of the meet, the level of men's disc has changed. So that is the new 68, 70 is the new 68, and that's what you have to be doing there or thereabouts to actually be competitive and stuff. And, you know, obviously a top 3 and 1 Diamond League final and stuff, but I'm trying to now move towards winning consistently and putting my name there. So, yeah, that's just the standard it is, and Mikolos isn't going to let me have it, and either is Christian or Daniel or any of those boys. So, yeah, just got to be relentless with it, and yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you do that. It also just lifts up what your bad standard is. So, yeah, I mean, obviously always wanting more, but it also is February. But we're showing really good shape and keen to continue the season. So,
well, now that the season is open, where do you go next? Where are we seeing you throw?
Melbourne. Yeah, so really keen to get a good distance out of Melbourne, and you know, I didn't win a domestic comp last year. Connor Bell got me on both occasions, so hopefully see him there, and I think Lawrence is coming as well, and a few other boys. So keen to get some good performances out there, and then yeah, just really want to take one comp at a time and just keep progressing and not put too much weight in each thing, but just focus on progression and take another step forward. And you know, everything was great in the circle today. It's just, yeah, the distances will come.
I feel like this is underrated, but the way you ended your year last year with a shot put, that take the weight off a couple of things there, to free you up a little bit doing a different event?
Mate, I actually jacked my back after that. So, no, I ended up having a bet with my coach Dale, and he said, like, we both love golf, and he said, okay, well, I hadn't thrown since 2015, so I threw 1666, and he's like, mate, there's no way you'd throw over 17. I was like, okay, so it got really competitive, and he said, all right, if you throw under 1750, you owe me a round of golf at Royal Queensland, and if you throw over 18, he owes me a round at Melbourne Royal. So I'm waiting for that round. I'm hopefully going to take it after Maury Plant, but yeah, it was nice, just a bit of a change of scenery and a little bit of fresh grounds, and you know, gives you a bit of reality check. You're not just, you know, you don't know what the distance expected is, so you just kind of have a bit of fun with it. So it was nice. It was good it's a good atmosphere, like close crowd, everyone was having a laugh, cool, and you know, Dale standing there with a beer with the bar right next, and there was some beats going, so it was good.
I heard some murmurings you were going to come out as Stone Cold Steve Austin. that would have been something special. Can we see you in a different kit somewhere this year? Can we see you mix it up a little?
So Tommy Gamble, he just texts, he's like, mate, wear Austin 316, come out 2 beers, clap them, and then get into it. But yeah, I thought about it, just bring out the denim jorts. Denim jorts with the black tee and stuff, so I'll see, maybe in the mustache, but no, it was pretty funny. We should do a comp like that, have a bit of like a character comp and stuff. Yeah.
Bring in the intro.
You know, do you remember Julian Ruck? So Rucky did this comp in the US where it was, he dressed up as Goku, did the whole comp through like 66, but he just dressed as Goku, had that gold hair and everything. It was sick. It was good. So
You might struggle with the hair part, but
Yeah,
I feel like you would have had the stone cold, mate. Good to see you enjoying it and back here as well here in Australia. So Maury Plant next, okay, and then a big season in Europe.
yeah, like we've got it's going to be a pretty extensive one. Like we're planning on going over for like 4 weeks, come back for 4, go for another 5, and then come back for 3, and then go to World. So it's, there's a lot of stuff going on. So just like I said, one comp at a time and just keep focused on progressing and get over the 70 mark and stay over there consistently. So.
Mate, it's only one comp away. We'll let you get to this crowd. Congratulations, Denny. Meet record anyway, mate. Congratulations. Just lost my hand in there. Well done, Matty Denny.
It's a big mitt, that is for sure. Anyone who wants to shake her hand, try Matt. It's a good way to start with. 2 laps to go here in the women's 5,000 metres. So Campbell leading. Make that 3 laps to go. Campbell leading from Pompiani, and then Robinson on the inside of Rawle, and then Werner, the American, on the inside of Hansen, and then tucked in behind them Blundell, and then a little bit of a gap to our very good marathoner and Sarah Klein. So at the moment, you would say we are down to 7.
Yep, and Holly Campbell's done a great job since the pacer job dropped out to really start to push this tempo, and that's the reason why we have dropped some runners off. It's almost like a concertina here, because you can see down the back straight with the tailwind, they look like they're going faster. You can see Holly starts to open up her strides down the back straight, even starting to drop off Jenny Blundell here a little bit down that back straight with this surge. But I don't know if the surge is being done on purpose, as we see Pompiani just taking the lead now for the first time here. She's gone past Holly Campbell, and she's really starting to make sure that she stamps her authority on the race here as we get to the business end of the race. Now, when they hit the front straight where the headwind comes into it, they do slow down a little bit. It's a natural thing to happen when you hit that brick wall of the wind, but you can certainly see that they start to join back in. But I think here we're seeing Leanne starting to push it, work a little bit harder into that headwind to try and run some sting out of the athletes that are right there still on the shoulder. There's a group of 5 now. Nat Rawle is looking fantastic. She's looked super relaxed through the face the whole way here, as has Georgia Hansen.
So a couple of laps to go. So Leanne's such a strong athlete, isn't she?
Yeah.
Fantastic cross-country runner, really good on the roads. We know that. So it's in her best interest to try and take the kick. Amy Robinson's interesting here. She's had a very good season. She's a veteran in many ways at 30 years of age, but you feel like she's really new again. Rawle looks good, Natalie. She moves up to 3rd, and then Hansen. So Holly's off the back now. So you do feel as if the top 4 are going to be the top 4. Could Taylor Werner work her way back? The American, she's been able to get past Holly now, but they've got 600 metres to go in the women's 5,000, and Pompiani doing the bullock of the work. It is windy, and the wind may have died slightly, but they're about to hit it here, aren't they, Tamsin?
Yeah, and I think that wind has been the reason why Holly Campbell has dropped off so sharply, because she was the one who was taking that wind for the athletes. Now, Leanne definitely has wanted to push the pace, and she's trying her best to do it, but you can just see off the ground, Nat Rawle looks so fantastic, still relaxed through the face, but you're right, Robinson has looked tired for a little way out, but she's so gutsy. She's just keeping the turnover happening, and Hansen's looking wonderful there on the shoulder.
And they've dropped Leanne here so quickly. It's calmed down to 3. So Robinson, who's had a big run at a mile so far this year, she's got the confidence to go with 3:50 to go. Hansen's looked probably the best, I think, all the way through. If you look at the facial expressions, and Rawle, the experience of Rawle sitting in 3rd place. So Robinson trying to take the kick out. So where and can Hansen, when and where will she try and strike here with 200 metres to go right now?
Well, here's where it comes into that mental ability, where you're able to block out that pain and just concentrate on how important it is to stay relaxed and concentrate on technique. Really focus on pumping those arms. Pain will be etched through the body for all 3 of these athletes, but who wants it the most?
Rawle coming with a run. So Hansen struggling a little. Robinson gritting her teeth. Natalie Rawle getting up almost alongside of her with 50 metres to go. Robinson, you can see, digging in. Natalie hasn't got past her yet. Now draws up alongside of her, coming away. And Natalie Rawle wins, and Robinson's going to run a personal best by about 40 seconds in 2nd place, and in 3rd place will be Hansen, and then the gap to Pompiani and Werner behind those, and just up in front of those as well. Klein was in that mix as well, but that was, again, like the men's, just a stirring last 400 metres.
That was a stirring last 400 metres, a great race to watch. It became less about the time, didn't it, more about the competition, and that's what championship racing's like. So it's good practice for them going forward in the season.
You're spot on about that, but the times are good.
Yeah, they're still good.
We've got a couple of personal bests with Robinson, a massive personal best of about 40 seconds. Her PB was 16:10 before tonight.
Yeah, but Nat Rule, quality athlete, her personal best of last year of 15:03, so she was a little bit off her best, and that's probably why you brought the athlete like Amy Robinson into this sort of race. She was able to hang in there because they hadn't put in super fast laps through that race just yet. But Amy Robinson, she'll be really happy that she was able to mix it with these quality athletes with pretty impressive CVs, and she'll take confidence too from that run. And a personal best, you can't sneeze at that. You always want your PB, don't you, every race that you go out there. And Georgia Hansen should be happy with that too. She stayed relaxed and finished off still nicely, but it was in this front straight, you could see the athlete who probably held her form the best was Hansen, but she just couldn't get the turnover happening. Natalie Rule, her head was moving a little bit, and that was just because she was in so much pain at the end of that race, but she really wanted it, and she managed to come away with the win.
And let's go down and join Natalie. She's with Mitch right now.
I'm letting Natalie catch her breath here for a second because that was a blinding last 2K. But Nat, to hold on there, you really had to grit your teeth there late.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting the quick kick down, but I gave it all I could and something came. Yeah.
A change of scenery for you recently, isn't it? You've sort of stepped into a new training program, a little bit of a new training group, but it seems to be working well.
Yes, I'm getting coached by Craig now, which is really cool, and I love training with all the group, and yeah, it's been really well, it's working well. Went to Falls, which really helps me with getting my fitness. So yeah.
You seem to have found a real niche here in the 5K. Last year you ran so incredibly well. The depth of 5K running in this country obviously is an all-time high, but how are you finding the confidence over this 12.5 laps journey? Because you've been in a few different events, but this feels like the sweet spot for you.
Yes, I have been in 15s up to halves, but I think the 5K and a few 15s will go my way this year. So yeah.
Where do we see you next?
Alberton Smile, which is next week. Can't wait.
All right. Quick turnaround, Nat. These kids will jump the fence. They've been doing it all night. Congratulations. Good win.
Thanks, Mitch.
Great work tonight, Mitch. Those interviews have been an absolute highlight. We're going to take a little break after we see these results. Natalie Rule with 15:21.94 was the winner of the women's 5,000 metres. And we're going to take a little quick break and then wrap up the night. There's those results. Amy and Georgia both with personal bests. Had a great night here in Adelaide for the Adelaide Invitational, the first of the Summer Series in the Chemist Warehouse. You can see it all on 7+. So those results for the women's 5,000 metres. It was pretty quick in the end. Natalie, not her fastest ever, but a terrific last back end of the race. Amy Robinson, a revelation so far this season at 30 years of age.
Yep.
And Georgia Hansen, who you picked out very early in the race, has run a personal best.
And they can thank Holly Campbell for some of those faster times, because it started off a little bit more slower, but Holly was able to then push that pace, and she worked so hard. She probably cooked herself a little bit by doing it, but she's the reason why that tempo did pick up.
And a big personal best for Sarah Klein, and lots of PBs all the way through. Now, we were watching the long jump earlier tonight, so Harrison Williams at 7.77, a personal best for him over Sam Taylor at 7.73, and Mason McGroder third on a countback. That's not far off the 16-year-old's personal best at 7.73. Remember, he won a bronze medal at 15 years of age in the long jump last year in the World Under-20 Championships.
Certainly a name to watch, right?
Absolutely. So, look, it's been a terrific night. I think one of the highlights was to see Peter Bowl running so well and be taken on by Daniel Williams, Abby Corwell, and this is what we've got to look forward to. Nina Kennedy is the star attraction at the Perth Track Classic in a fortnight's time.
And you could see how close the kids were getting to the action. They were able to get autographs from those superstars of track and field. So if these track classics are coming to your home city, you might as well get along, because the athletes will be there and they'll be available to chat to post-event.
Saw some fantastic sprinting, a bit askew sometimes with the wind, but Kennedy looks the real deal. Bree, in the new name, Bree Rizzo, was very good tonight. And there were a whole heap of good performances, but if it came down to one, it must be our champion discus thrower, Matt Denny, who came here tonight confident that he had something pretty big in the locker, and he produced a 67.82. In fact, two of his throws at least were better than the previous meet record.
Yeah, Matty Denny
In fact, there were four in total that were better than the previous meet record.
Yeah, Matty Denny was absolutely sensational, as was Bree Rizzo at the back end of that 100 metres. Looked great. So much to like. I think we can see Clifford, and the distance races were just brilliant to watch. They were great competitions and came down to that final lap. And Vanessa Lowe, well, she's doing Vanessa Lowe things and out there competing very close to her best already.
She's had a great start tonight. And this was, I guess, the single highlight performance. This is the one that will have the statisticians around the world in the Northern Hemisphere saying, oh, Denny started, hasn't he? And he set a benchmark as well. So he and Pete Bowl were probably, with Abby Corwell, three of the stars that we talked about with Vanessa at the start of the night, and each and every one of them produced something that we won't forget. How good's this? 17 years of age, and the champ goes up alongside of him and smiles all around. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you in Perth in a couple of weeks' time.